Okay, the year 6 season 3 PTS live stream is here, and I just finished watching it. First thing I want to do is commend the devs for approaching the elephant in a room right away. They said the burden of truth is on them, so they might as well get it out of the way. And they said that the post they made on X about the Brooklyn DLC being delayed was unclear. Right away, Daria said that the DLC will be releasing this year, later this year. It just won't be releasing with this season. And I think that was an important clarification that they needed to make because, I mean, obviously we see what's going on with the division and the future seemed a bit shaky. And it's cleared up a lot for all of us. So they got that out of the way before deciding to get into anything regarding season 3. So tell me what you think about this. Is this satisfactory enough for you, or do you think they're still capping? They didn't give us a date. Just tell me what you think about this alone. But let's get into the details of season 3 because they talked about more information regarding master difficulty coming, and they actually gave us a teaser of the boss, which I'm going to get into. So first thing they discussed was seasons 2.0 changes and feedback with new mods and different changes with that. They showed a few modifiers, an active modifier called rogue momentum, and the purpose of it is to encourage you to play more aggressively. So there's like a meter next to your health bar, wherein when you kill enemies and get more damage, your movement speed is going to increase, your damage is going to increase, and you're just going to become unstoppable after a while. Personally, I don't really enjoy playing with modifiers as much because it changes the way that you play when it comes to the stats on your build. When I make a build, I just like to have the stats that I make it so that I can see how it performed with how I built it. The amount of skill tiers, the amount of weapon damage, I just want to see how it performs. I feel like the modifiers help a little bit too much, and it gets really easy, especially in legendary missions when you have full teams playing with them. Another modifier they added was a hostile modifier. The only hostile modifier I do not like is the one where when you're at a certain distance, your bullets are deflected back at you, and that can really get annoying, especially when chungas have that active. You just get downed immediately. So they added another hostile modifier. By the way, hostile modifiers are those mods that apply to the NPCs. So the one that they added was Frenzy, where enemies get more aggressive as the season progresses. So their rate of fire, movement speed, and health regen increases. So the further you get into the season, I guess month 2 or 3, you're going to really start to feel the effects. And then they show this whole array of skill-based passive modifiers. Those are my favorite. I like to just sit back and reap the benefits of whatever modifiers are on my build. And this season seems to be skill-based, just like a lot of others. They added a gear set and a new brand set that look a little bit interesting, but I really don't like the brand set name backpack that they have. I keep telling these developers that a lot of these talents are just useless and nobody uses them, and they apply a named version of that. They're still not going to use it. Now, I know you guys want to get into this right here because this is the exotic SMG that they showed. First of all, it looks awesome, and it's the vector variant. It's called the 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐿. First thing I noticed about this is how it fires. It has like a rotator on it, like a Gatling gun, and it has these red lasers shooting out of it. It just looks awesome aesthetically. But here's the talent. It's called Symbiosis. While having a shield deployed, lose shield health at a rate of 10% per second. Your shield receives repairs of 25% of the damage dealt by this weapon. Wow. So basically the shield itself is not really that strong. You lose 10% of its health per second. So while you're firing, you gain more than double of it in repairs. Oh my. I've already thought of a build with this. I'm not going to say anything, but it's going to be insane. This is, wow. This is crazy. This is really crazy. He didn't really show the exotic modifiers on it, but as you can see, it has a 50% optimal range buff for the optics rail. This SMG is going to be highly sought after. I'm sure it's going to be on a Journeys track or whatever. We'll see in the PTS tomorrow, which I'll be streaming. So tune in. There are 3 exotics, and here's the second one. There are some exotic gloves. And oh man, I think that first of all, y'all need to address the exotics that have been dead on arrival, like the other gloves where when you're blind firing, you get more accuracy. I don't know. Iron grip gloves. I can't remember, but you got to do something with those, man. A lot of gear and weapons are not even used. Like that exotic shotgun that slows enemies down when you shoot them. That does nothing. So it's just a friendly suggestion for me. But this right here looks awesome. I talked about stealth before in my other videos. How would a stealth specialization look in the Division 2? This right here definitely has a stealth element to it. The gloves are called 𝐒𝐻. It has a talent called Smokescreen. On armor break, drop a smoke bomb at your feet, concealing you from the enemies for 3 seconds. And the cooldown is 40 seconds. That is very cool. This is going to be great for, especially in the dark zone when you're trying to get away from people, or when there's a lot of chaos going on and it's just a smoke bomb that drops at your feet when your armor breaks. Now, I know that when your armor breaks, your health is pretty much non-existent. So, I mean, you're going to have to be a little bit shifty when you're taking damage. Plus, they did say for this that in PvP, the stats are a little bit different. We're going to find out about all of that in the PTS tomorrow. So make sure you preload that. It should be available now. Okay, now here's the backpack talent, okay? This backpack is called Birdie's Quick Fix Pack. I was waiting for something like this. If there were ever a time to make a medic build, it's now. I already made a build called Combat Medic, actually, in my library on YouTube. So it's time to finally release the build that I was just holding on to because I didn't think it was ready enough, especially for PvP. But this right here is going to completely incentivized me to release that build. The talent is called Combat Medic. It says plus 50% revive speed. That, oh man, that is invaluable. You know how many times I get downed or I down somebody when their teammate is reviving them? And then it has a negative 50% weakened buff timer. Now, I don't know what that is. I guess we're just going to have to find out. But it also provides plus 50% damage resistance to both agents while reviving or being revived, and for 5 seconds after a successful revive. So it gives you time to revive your teammate and get away. Successful revives provide +1 skill tier for 30 seconds. Revives at skill tier 6 grant overcharge for 15 seconds. Yo, this right here is goated. This is crazy. Yeah, I'm going to love this. And I'm sure so many other support players will as well. Then they got into the gear. They have a new gear set and a new brand set. The new gear set is called Refactor. And the 2-piece grants 15% status effects, 3-piece 25% skill damage, and the 4-piece is called Return to Sender. Receive repairs of 10% of the damage dealt by your skills. Your allies receive repairs of 20% of the damage dealt by your skills. Wow, this is a crazy support build. Now, the exclusive backpack talent for this is called Over-Engineered. Now, this says while at full armor, repairs received from Return to Sender will provide bonus armor, up to 40% of your total armor. But this doesn't apply to allies, so this is for yourself. Still, this is making me want to make like a tanky healer. The talent for the chest piece is called Increased Interest. Increase the repairs received from Return and Sender from 10% to 25% and from 20% to 35%. Oh, wow. Nice. This is the new brand set that they discussed. It's called the Shiny Monkey Gear. And this just looks similar to a lot of the other brand sets, honestly, except for the repair skills, 52% for the 3-piece. I don't know if that would be worth the investment of using 3 pieces of this, but we're just going to have to see. I like the logo, by the way. Oh, here we go. Now, I know a lot of you have been waiting for this news. They discussed increased stash space, something that so many people have been wanting for so long. I know I have. They said that it's conditional, though. You must own Warlords of New York to get 50. And then the second condition is that you need to have had the year 1 pass for another 50. So in total, it's 100 stash space, which is great. At the end of the day, though, hoarders will be hoarders, and you're going to see people max out that stash space to 400. My recommendation is that you get more characters on your roster so that you can offload some of that stuff onto them, and then you'll be good. They went into also that it's finally time to start doing these climax missions. But I noticed on here, they said there's a new Manhunt, and it shows Agent 𝐿𝐸𝐴, and they've also added 5 more weeks of scouts. I thought 16 weeks was enough, but they did say in 2 weeks, quote, 𝐿𝐸𝐴 quoted, in 2 weeks, we'll be able to play the Climax Master difficulty. And here's a sneak peek of the boss that they showed. His name is Bichon. It's a Chunga. He's green. And as you can see from the spray paint on his armor, he is part of the Hyenas faction. So the first master level difficulty is going to be against the Hyenas. Interesting. And this is one thing I like too. I know they said master difficulty is not like legendary difficulty, but it is a higher echelon of difficulty, which we're going to have to prepare for. And I would always like to see different level factions, not just the Black Tusk. You know, in legendary mission, we're always fighting White Tusks. So it's nice to see that they're implementing something like this. And I can't wait to see what this is all about. So like I said, Yannick mentioned In 2 weeks, we'll be able to play the Climax Master difficulty. One important aspect to mention is about the Provocator chess piece. That's the new exotic chess piece that is locked behind the Master difficulty. Luckily, it's easily attainable. He said that after you complete the first Master level difficulty, it's a guaranteed drop. Anytime after that, it's random. So I'm going to be copping that right away as soon as it is released, and I cannot wait to make a build for y'all. After this, they just start talking about a few other things, bug fixes, and then they went into the Q&A session, which I don't usually tune into. I wanted to tell you about the main aspects of this live stream, and like I said before, I'm glad that they immediately addressed the elephant in the room when it came to the Brooklyn DLC delay. He did mention that it is a big endeavor. It's a large undertaking for the small team that they have, and he said that they're almost there. They just need a little bit more time. Whether you believe that or not, that's up to you. At the end of the day, it seems to be positive news going forward, and I want to know what you think about all of this in the comments section below. Will you be playing the PTS? Oh yeah, by the way, the PTS is only going to be one phase. They said that it will be extended till Wednesday though, so it's going to be longer but only one phase. I guess they finalized a lot of the stuff and they know that they want to use whatever they've put into the game. I can't wait to dive in and test everything out. I appreciate you stopping by and watching to the end. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.